When people talk about Ultima 1, it's always about how it's so random and makes no sense. It's so boring and has no story. I want to make it clear that I do not agree with this. There very much is a plot, there very much are themes, and I swear to God it mostly makes sense. I feel like Ultima fans who dismiss the first one simply haven't put any effort into understanding it. It's such a wild roller coaster ride with so many different modes of play. There's always some new frontier you're discovering, there's always some new challenge in front of you. It's got themes of the meaninglessness of government and using the system for your own personal goals. The whole world is just meant to be a means to an end in a really Kyle Reese sort of way. Your character is somebody with personal goals, who's always adapting. They're always figuring out the right people to befriend and the right way to gain power. And there's somebody who made the choice to be a hero. You're constantly discovering how big the world really is and how deep the plot really goes. Growth, exposition, and challenge are all drip-fed to you over time. All of the annoying mechanics that people don't like are where the bulk of the story comes from. I hate it when people dismiss all of this and say something like, "What was Richard Garriott smoking?" I'm going to call it Kailovsky's Law. Where there is a fandom, there's a misunderstood original work. I will say before this, I am not playing Ultima 1, The First Age of Darkness. I am playing Ultima for the Apple II. Ultima 2 hasn't come out yet, and Akalabeth is not Ultima 0. Also, all of the plot that's in the manual for the DOS version of Ultima does not exist. I am solely going by the Apple II manual for Ultima. So, with all of that said, I'm going to put on my analysis glasses and walk you through the story of Ultima. Act 1 of the story casts you as a lost adventurer. You're not quite a common peasant, but you're hardly a hero. Many who have come before you have fallen to the local wildlife or have gotten lost in the vast wilderness, surely starving to death. With luck on your side, you scrape past a few violent encounters and find civilization. Your first interactions are with Mondaine's minions. Being a newcomer, you familiarize yourself with the locals. You find all kinds of luxuries that are out of your reach: spells, vehicles, weapons. Some things you can afford, however, are food and drink. In hopes of finding some rest and recovering your precious hit points, you head to the tavern to empty your meager purse. The world of Ultima is unforgiving to the unfamiliar. Your reckless drinking leads you to having your money stolen by the local barmaid. Even among the civilized, there is danger. In hopes of seeking greater purpose, you travel to the castle to speak with the king. He gives you a quest to find the Tower of Knowledge. The world is vast, and the idea of hunting something down seems hopeless. Currently aimless, you wander into a nearby dungeon. Maybe the tower could be found in there. You hack away at some rats and bats before returning to the surface. You're rewarded with hit points, enough to exceed what you started with. It seems that fighting in the dungeon is the best way to develop yourself at this point. After you return to town with your newly acquired wealth, you purchase a weapon and armor. After a few more runs to the dungeon, you have enough hit points and equipment to feel safe exploring the overworld on your new horse. You are far from the stranger you were at the beginning. Traveling to the north reveals an island with something on it. Could that be the Tower of Knowledge? More monotonous dungeon runs leave you thirsting to find something truly new. You venture into the mountains with your new wagon to find a coastal town. There is another nearby island. With gold to spare, you buy a raft. You have found the Tower of Knowledge. You gain a stat boost. A quest is completed. With this new frontier under your belt, you rush back to the castle to turn in the quest. The reward is yet another stat boost. This is how you progress now. With your newfound strength and excitement, you purchase a raft to explore this current body of water. There it is, another castle, the quest to kill a gelatinous cube. You're beginning to notice that appealing to powerful people is how you should get ahead. Political sway is real power. So, back in the dungeon. You're here on important business this time. There's a cube that needs to be killed. Your armor is dissolved, but that's okay. You won't be down here long, and you can more than afford a new one. With new power, in a new town, you try drinking at the tavern again. Then, it is revealed to you. Time machine, evil wizard, what, how, what? They told you very clearly what you need to do, and yet still you have more questions than answers. He also tells you that the princess will reveal the location of the time machine to a space ace. What? Alright, whatever. And to become a space ace, you need to defeat 20 vessels. You turn in the slime quest and are gifted a red gem. All 4 gems are required to power the time machine. Where are the other gems? Are there more castles, more quests? Are they down in the dungeons? If you're an idiot like me, you're going to think that you need all 4 gems to power the time machine, meaning that you did the quest 4 times and got 4 red gems. What he really means is that you need all 4 colors of gems. Oops. So you explore the entire landmass. Maybe there's something tucked in a corner, maybe there's a specific town that sells it. The towers were on islands, maybe there's an island. You sail around the whole world. Nothing. This is actually the point where I starved to death. I had so much power and wealth that I forgot to buy food. You're still a slave to your own human needs. Well, you went back, stocked up on food. You've explored everything. Nothing left to do now but push the boundaries of the world. There is a lot of water, and exploring it is tedious. If the solution is on some remote island on some specific corner of the ocean, you're gonna be pissed. Time to set sail and see what the heck is out there. You set course for north. You're just gonna follow the red needle until something happens. There will probably be an unkillable monster that destroys you, or some storm that destroys your ship, or something, you know? I've played a video game before, like you can't just leave. No fucking way. There is a whole ass other continent here. So you hop off your ship and seek out someone of political importance so you can start being their personal errand boy. You receive stab boosts and a different gem. That's what the game is now, traveling to distant lands to seek out lords to achieve a personal goal. Once you have a complete collection of sour Skittles in your pocket, you notice something a little different about some of the shops. You now have access to space shuttles and air cars and phasers. All that's left to do now is figure out how to become a space ace so that you can find the time machine. So, guess I gotta go to space now. Welcome to Act 3. It gets interesting now. You wanna talk about Zen Syndrome? This video is about to get some Zen Syndrome. Okay, so people wanna talk about how random and out of place this section of the game is. I could not disagree more. It is completely in line with the themes and plot of the game so far. The entire game is made up of different modes of play. There is no main gameplay style in Ultima. Much like Star Wars, Ultima is a mashup of everything that came before it into some one big ultimate work. The space section combines elements from every major computer space game food group. You have the resource management strategies of the various Star Trek games, the first-person ship combat seen in Star Wars or Star Raiders, and you have the pixel precision docking found in smaller games such as 3D Docking Mission. That is no different than the cocktail of RPG game modes found back on Earth. Now, in terms of the plot, it makes sense too. What does Mondaine have that we need to destroy? A gem? A gem of what? It's a gem of immortality. The TIE fighters are still Mondaine's minions. Like in the overworld, if he's immortal, then he is still going to be doing evil wizard shit in the future. The majority of your progress so far has come from killing monsters. Space Nazis are just an additional type of enemy in a world full of different types of enemies. One question I will pose though is why are they in this time period and not the future? I will come back to this. Okay, whatever, you're a space ace now. Fuck, whatever, fuck. Time to bust out the princess and get her to tell me where the time machine is. I really like the gameplay of breaking the princess out. It kind of feels like an Atari football game where the exit is the end zone and the princess is the football. The guards are tough as hell, and it's best to bait each one into a room if you can. I am pissed that you can't just slaughter these primitive screwheads with your phaser. I really like the whole jester thing where you figure out that he has the keys to the cell. Such immersion, much interaction. If I knew how to paint, I would make a painting of me knocking the fuck out of the jester. I've been waiting the whole game to dome that fucking twink. In terms of your character's motivation and allegiances, I really like that you just betray the kings the second that they stop being useful to you. Just using these politicians like they've used you in the past. All right, now this is the point in the Ultima 1 review where I go, oh my god, why does the king have a princess locked up in the castle? What was Richard Garriott smoking? Listen, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna lay this out real simple like for you. Did you think maybe, perhaps, she's in prison because she knows where the time machine is? Did you think that maybe she might be from the future? Did you think that maybe that's why she wants me to be a space ace because she'd only trust someone familiar with her own culture? Did you think maybe the reason why all of the kings have all of the gems for the time machine is because they were confiscated from a prisoner? Did you think maybe the princesses went back in time to hide from Mondaine's minions? Perhaps due to political importance? I'm not quite sure. And did you think that maybe the TIE fighters are in the past instead of the future, or because they're pursuing the princesses through time? It stands to reason that if they traveled back in time to hide, they all split up and separated the gems. All right. Now, how do scared, naked peasants who are not familiar with this place end up on different continents in the castles of different kings? You, the player, managed to pull that off, asshat. Okay, so the time machine is in the northwest. Searching for things using cardinal directions is a new kind of challenge. Find the thing, do the thing, kill the guy, whatever. The immortality gem damages you. Maybe that's saying something about the frailty and mortality and squishiness of humans, and they were like never meant to be immortal, whatever, blah, 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 blah.